On this week's episode, which state takes top honor if you're looking to raise a family? A study shows the science behind the winner. Also, cats or dogs? Which pandemic pet was the most adopted this past year? And getting paid to poop? Which university is offering cash for your number two? I feel like we have the trifecta this week. Normally, Sarah and I both know, and it's a rule of thumb in newsrooms, that if you have pets, puppies, or soldiers, that will lead a newscast. Well, today we have pets, babies, and poop. So that's got to be what leads a podcast, right?
PBP. Yes, let's do it.
PBP. Thanks for listening to this very odd episode of Anchors Away as we enter into Season 2. I am Robert Burns, Sarah Threadgill. You just heard on the other end. Now, remember, subscribe for free wherever you listen. Share. Leave us a rating. That's what I'm going to ask you to do this week. Go on to wherever the heck you listen to these shows, because it's free. It's on just about every podcast service out there. And leave a rating, leave a review, even if it's 2 words. It says, hey, these guys are funny. Hey, these guys are stupid. Whatever it is, let's get the conversation going. And that helps us get the message out and the shows out there so more people can listen. So, Sarah, with
Good
that,
vibes only, though. Good vibes.
I mean, preferably positive reviews only. Hopefully people don't think we absolutely suck at this racket. But, we're trying this out for not having to put on makeup or ties or dresses or pencil skirts or whatever the hell it was that you wore. You have today a super high bun, a Love Anyway sweater.
It's a great charity. It's a great nonprofit that does amazing work over in the Middle East. So check it out.
And you've got a cool little bow band in your head.
Yeah, it's my Rosie the Riveter look. This is what I do when the hair is dirty and I need to just take a bandana and wrap my hair up in it. So yeah, tis what it is.
Am I like the most guy when I say, you have this bow bandana thingy in your hair? Is that like the most dude thing to kind of describe what it is?
Definitely not a bow. Definitely bandana. Goodness.
And the streak continues. As we go from last week into this week, let's just go right into the news to know. I'm going to go in sequential order of what we teased here. And the first one would be starting a family. Where are the best places to do that? There was a new study that was released. This is by, I'm in the wrong article, as I pull up the information to give it to you. This is a study by Wallet Hub. They do studies all year round. And so what they did was they ranked the best states to settle down and start a family. 50 states, 5 categories. They broke them down to into the most family-friendly area. Now, the criteria here, this includes what they consider to be family fun, not adult fun, not fun by yourself, not single fun, not, anything silly like that. Health and safety, education, childcare, affordability, and socioeconomics. From some person who doesn't have a family per se, to someone who does. Sarah, how many of those key indicators are most important to you when you look at this? Obviously, you guys were talking about moving for work, but if you're playing with house money here.
Yeah, I mean, to me, to us, I would say the biggest factor is schools.
Okay.
They gotta have good schools. And, we like being close to bigger cities because there's a lot more to do. Like in Austin, you can go hike, you can, go take advantage of all the wonderful food Austin has to offer. So for us, it's really just about schools and then, I guess the cool factor of the city and that we can go enjoy it on our time off.
So you guys are, as most people would know if they've listened to the show before, you guys are right now in Texas still. Thoughts of moving to Wisconsin. I will say neither of those 2 states are in the top 5 of the best places to live with your 2 young children.
I have a very hard time believing Texas is not.
I mean, there's a lot of space in Texas. However, I'm going to go through the top 5 right here because this is the lead. Number 1, Massachusetts. I have never been to Massachusetts still, but they are number one, followed by Minnesota. I know people who live in both of those states. North Dakota, I know no one who lives in those states. The only people I do, they got out and they now live elsewhere. New York, which I am surprised at just because of the high cost of living for living in New York, and Vermont as well, which I guess scenic areas. However, what this study is suggesting to me is if you live in that northeast corner spot of those bundled up states, you're doing all right with your kids.
Interesting. Interesting. North Dakota is one that really surprises me. I've never been to North Dakota, so I really can't say much about that particular state, but just doesn't seem like there's a whole lot to do, but it is high up on affordability. So maybe that's the key win for them.
Probably is. New York would not be high up on the affordability rank, but it is fourth best, as I mentioned, for raising a family because the Big Apple ranking number 2 for family fun. So I guess that kind of goes in there. And surprisingly ranked 5 for affordability. Now, you have to take into account these are probably not considering you living in the city to raise a family. If you're living in Albany, if you're living in, Rochester, whatever it is, it's probably a great, and that plays into factor here. But if when you hear New York, you got to think more of than just Long Island, Manhattan. You're probably not raising a family for the most part there.
Yeah, yeah. And all of us that live outside of New York, Manhattan area, that's all we think about is New York City. So, yeah. Where's Texas again?
Not on there. I will say Hawaii, I am not surprised, is the happiest state in the study. Living on island time, mahalo, all about that.
Yeah, I can see that. I, again, have not been to Hawaii. Bucket list. We actually, as soon as airlines kind of open back up, I mean, they're open, but as soon as it's pretty safe to head out and we get some vaccinations, I think we're heading out to Hawaii.
I've always wanted to go to Hawaii, mainly just to vacation. Texas, by the way, is ranked 28th out of 50 states, so you are right in the middle there of the best places to live, and except for health and safety, it's horrible. It is ranked, what did I say, 28th? 37th. So, not great, not bad.
Yikes.
Not the healthiest state either, but you do have In-N-Out and Whataburger, so maybe that's the reason why.
You remember the Whataburger, don't you, Robert?
I remember it, but I'm an In-N-Out guy to the heart.
Oh, yeah, nah, definitely Whataburger's the way to go over in Texas. What an interesting, study, though. I definitely think people across the country would have a lot to say about this. So, popularity-wise, I kind of wonder if they just took a tally, how, which state would be the most popular.
Yeah, and I'm sure it took a while to do some of this, though. I do remember the Whataburger. I do remember what Whataburger does to my insides, though, which leads me to our next story that you have for us. That leads right into the P, the first P of our day.
The P. And, I would be the one to find this story. I feel like with 2 little boys, 4 and 6, this is like all we talk about in our house is
that's what little kids want to talk about. It's the
poop. Unfortunately, we talk about poop a lot. This is a study from UC Davis Foods for Health Institute, and apparently, if you're really wanting a Target card, this is the way to go. They'll pay you with a $75 Target card for what they call a trip to the Golden Throne. They are doing a study on stool and really, I guess, need some volunteer stool sent to them, brought to them. They say with all the rise in diseases, it's really important to understand, how and what we're eating affects the body and the gut microbiome. So, they're really taking this study seriously. I don't know what to think about this one.
I am the person who, before we recorded this, just came back from Target, as I feel like I do every Wednesday as my Target run, and I always text you to say I'm a few minutes behind.
I thought you were going to say something else right then, to be honest.
I did not come from the Golden Throne to come to do this podcast, although there is that joke that people want toilets made out of solid gold. I think a lot of people are going to say, that's gross, But if they lived close by, and I think if no one knew you were a part of this study or you were dropping this off, you just showed up with a $75 Target gift card, nobody would question it, and you wouldn't feel bad at all.
No, no, they have to get, oh goodness. In order to get this $75 card, it's a 4-week study, and you have to collect samples that total 300 grams, or what they say is the size of a large banana.
Hmm.
So there
That's
you
either
go.
one really good bowel movement or a bunch of really painful ones, or annoying ones,
Yeah,
rather.
yeah. I think if I was a researcher on this one, I think I might I don't know, opt out or something.
It's
This is an odd one, but hey, they gotta know, and it only helps, the rest of society if they know what's going on.
because neither of us are math majors. I did the math, and 300 grams is zero point 0.6 pounds. So a little over half a pound of weight you're going to be donating to this university to find out what the heck is going on your insides. Make 75 bucks. I say if you got the opportunity and the means, go for it.
Go for it. $75 is nothing to laugh at. That's quite a chunk of change, especially right now in this pandemic. And hey, Target does curbside, so there you go.
Here's how
Don't
you
even have to
work it,
go in.
people. I'll tell you right now. You get your Target gift card. You go into the store. You buy your groceries. You use that cartwheel thing. All right. I just saved 15 bucks using it, and this is a total free ad for Target. You use that cartwheel thing. You get your discounts. You walk out of there for maybe 5 bucks, and you get about $80, $90 worth of stuff. That's how you do it. Don't tell your other half where the money came from. Just show up with some groceries and make sure you get one thing that they like.
One thing of course.
All right, we do want to thank our sponsor for this show, Anchor. It's the easiest way for us to bring you the podcast. They give us everything we need, it's all in one place, and most importantly, it's all free. Everything on our iPhones, on our iPads, on our computers, all the creation tools to edit, it's all included, and they distribute the show for us. Send it to Spotify, send it to Apple, send it to Google. So, you can start your own podcast, get in on the game, download the Anchor app, or go to anchor.fm to get started. At least one thing. So I don't, the other thing on this, I don't know a lot of people who want to handle their own leftovers. So I
Hmm.
don't even want to handle my own pet's leftovers. If he has to go to the vet and they need, a sample like they do every year, the vet says they need that, and so I very reluctantly have to pick it up. And like I feel like I'm transporting contraband when it's in the car.
I think once you have kids, all of that goes out the window because you're just like, elbows deep in it. It seems like in the first couple years of life. So it
Nothing
doesn't bother me near
matters.
as much as it used to.
Nothing matters. I bring up the pets though because the second P of this show is pets. And the study here is showing us. Remember when the pandemic hit and they were talking about all the shelters that were running out of animals because everybody was adopting them and they had more applicants than they had pets at certain places? Well, there is a website that kind of looked into that a little bit more for the past year of 2020, and they wanted to find out were people looking at adopting more pets, more cats, or more dogs specifically, in which parts of the country. And they went through a lot of animals. We found out that over 750,000 animals were adopted from shelters,
That's
and
great.
that's so many pets, and that's so many people who actually did adopt instead of just saying I wanted to adopt but I couldn't find what I was looking for. They actually did it and they went through with it. And so the overall winner here by the slimmest of margins, and cat people are going to love this because they look for anything to brag about. Cats overall were adopted more by 1%.
Interesting.
55% to 54% versus the adoption to dogs. But it is kind of segmented, Sarah, when you look at it. Because you and I were talking beforehand, overall, is it one or the other? Well, yeah, like I said, it's very close. But they broke it down more so into West Coast and East Coast. Because, of course, they did. I feel like it's, Biggie and Pac all over again now. Because the West Coast has been labeled cat country, with the exception of Oregon. The East Coast is dog country, with the exception of Maine, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Vermont. All the happiest places to raise families are the places where they ended up getting cats. But
That surprises me because it's colder on the East Coast. So you would think a permanently indoor
mhm,
animal like a cat would work well. Whereas in California, you're out and you want to take your dog running
mhm,
with you
mhm.
and go to the beach and what have you. That surprises me.
Yeah, it's a little bit to me as well. I get why Oregon would be a dog area. A lot of people there like to go outdoors, go for hikes, go do types of outdoorsy things. You want to bring the pooch along. I get it. But like you said, the states that you would think would not be cats, they were cat country, and so interesting numbers. I think that kind of puts a little bit of perspective on. Yeah, we know a lot of pets were adopted, but what kind and where?
Yeah, yeah. And I'm dog person all the way. I feel like cats just think they're smarter than everybody else. I love kittens. I like cats. I've had indoor cats. I just definitely gravitate to the dog. But it's saying the study's saying that it's actually helped people relieve stress during the pandemic and that it's improved their moods. And I can totally understand that. I love having a pet around the house. You have a dog, right?
I have a dog and also a overweight black cat. So I have a white dog and a black cat, and they tolerate each other. They've stopped fighting and scratching and clawing and biting, um, but they when one lives in its tower, the other one pretty much rules the rest of the house.
So
This
you're
number,
you're just right in the middle. You're
I'm
50-50, buddy.
I've also lived on the West Coast and on the East Coast, so I guess I have to blend and be Switzerland at this point. The number
You can
here, though,
just
this is not surprising because pet owners know this. For cats, you buy some things and they're fine. They either like it or they don't. Dog
mhm.
owners, we buy something, they don't like it, we buy something else. We buy something else. We buy something else. And dog owners apparently overspent on cat owners by $500 last year.
I can see that. I can see my parents have a 5-month-old golden doodle, and he tears apart every toy they get him, and they just keep getting him new toys and new toys and new toys. So I can see that, especially puppies and kittens are expensive, but dogs, I think, tear up a lot more.
Yeah, they're much more destructive. Those bark boxes we get every couple of months. He's on a bi-monthly one over here. Again, free shameless plug for Barkbox. If you guys want to sponsor the show, happy to have you. But we get those once every 2 months, and I'm in. Like that's how they get me. Meanwhile, the cat, we bought toys for the cat. You know what his favorite toy is? Twist ties. He loves to play with twist ties, not actual mice, not actual toys, not catnip. He just wants the little twist tie that comes in whatever package you just bought. Most
That's
fun he's ever
just
had.
like having kids. I mean, you buy them everything for Christmas and they play with the box.
Yes, but you're also writing off kids. I can't write off the pets. I got no tax refund coming this year from Uncle Sam on Bastion and Max. Sorry. Love you guys. You're just an expense.
Oh, you have a Max. See, I have a Max. My little 12-year-old
Son.
Maltese Max. Yeah, little Maxie.
Yeah, little Max. It's an easy name to not have to mess up. And we also everybody's nickname is Maxie. But other than that, those are three stories that'll get you through this week. Trying to keep them concise. Hopefully you learn something.
And if anything else, it just gives you something to chat about to spouse, significant other, parent on the Skype call, or whichever call you're making as we continue this pandemic.
It's not going
Hopefully.
anywhere for a while. Just kick back and relax and
And listen to
enjoy being
Anchors
an
Away.
introvert. And listen to Anchors Away. Yeah, because obviously Sarah's out there publishing all types of promo stuff, shamelessly plugging the show everywhere. And we're happy. You were on a podcast this past week.
I did. It's yeah. So if you are wanting to check out another podcast, I spoke with Bo Berman. He's another former TV guy, reporter anchor, and he started a podcast called Reporter. It's spelled RPRTR. And so I went on his podcast and just talked about my career and kind of what I've done, and then just we talked about the current state of news and how it looks like it might be changing a little bit as this pandemic really just changes life for all of us.
Yeah, so go check it out. Obviously, we'll make sure to follow Sarah. First off, follow her on all the socials, and that is where you will be able to find the very easily accessible links to the show. Because I don't have it, I could get it for you and put it in the show notes, which I might as well do now that I mentioned it. But Sarah, you are off
I
for the rest of the week. You're done.
Yeah. Yeah, I am. And I pretty much am always promoting Anchors Away. So, and you've got all the old episodes on there too. So it's a good listen.
All right, that's all we got. I got nothing else to add. That was that awkward silence before the end of the show. So, with that being said, there's the music. Let's get the heck out of here. Follow us, again, just about on all of the podcast platforms that are out there. Leave us a rating or a review. Either one will help. Other than that, we'll come up with some more stories for you next week. Enjoy the rest of playoff football this weekend as well. Bye.